Barrett from World Bridge News. I have with me the best player in my house. This is actually Karen Lee Barrett, who is well known as an American woman player, and she colored her hair for the competition just the blue. But she's also a great player and is going to help us today look at what's happening in these mixed events. So Karen, say hello and go on.
Hello everyone. Nice to be here.
So what do you think of the women who are playing right now in these events?
Excellent. Excellent. These women, they're from all over the world, and they're showing the men how it's done.
Now, I'd like to take a look at the top four right now. Moulton and Willard, from Monaco and France, or most people think him as actually a French pair.
Yes.
And the Bells. The Chinese pair I know quite well. They're playing quite well. But you know about Joanna and Lou Stansby.
Oh, yes. Yes. Very long-standing husband-wife pair with many successes and great patience with each other, which is really necessary.
I've seen them do well in other events. Aside from here, they've played the Cavendish. They've done well in the Cavendish. I can't even begin to count how many world championships and national championships they have. And what about Hammond and Lal? Oh,
actually, people think that Bob Hammond is the only Hammond who can play, but Petra has many championships, and she is playing with Hammond Lal, who is very underrated. He's been an excellent player for years, and I'm happy to see that even though he's no longer young, he's definitely still kicking.
He's also Justin Lal's father, so there's a lot of bridge playing in that family.
There is.
And as I'm looking down the list, we see people of all ages again. I mean, Mr. Kulkowski, very young player. I mean, he still could play juniors or even youth team, I think, and he's already won another world championship here. We have Pepsi, we have Danny Corbell, Sylvia Shee. Now, Corbell and Shee have become a very strong mixed pair. One of the best I've ever seen. And we think that in America they're likely to take over that category, that the strong mixed team pair. What do you think of Sylvia?
Well, Sylvia's excellent, but this is just one of those things. We don't have enough mixed events. My prediction is that you will see Sylvia playing more and more open events, and quite likely with her husband.
Indeed. I would like to point out that there's a complete round robin here. We had the 23 pairs from the A plus 3 from the B final. And in the B final, we actually see some pretty good pairs there. I mean, Mike Bissell is playing in the B final. Shom Mukherjee from India, another fine player. The Costa Ricans, McGregor and Chapelet. Wait a minute. Number 14, Jade Barrett and Bob Solik. Yay! But Kit Woolsey and Sally Woolsey, even the B event is not, certainly not a walkover.
No. They're Versace. Versace is playing in the B event. The Cohens, Mark and Stasha Cohen, who have, again, many championships between them, both playing as partners and standing alone. Now the Rodwells.
The Rodwells, yeah, they were actually doing very well in the Open and unfortunately fell off the pace. Let's take a look at the team event, moving over to the World Series in the final. And great matches yesterday to have Manfield and Wilson come in. The bronze medal game, Sean Cheng and, of course, the Firm team. And the Firm team is a mixed team of both German and
Austrian, Dutch, and who knows what we should call Christina these days.
Yeah, really.
She's kind of multinational all by herself.
I'm sorry that we have we have the running scores now. And the first set, the match is quite tight between Wilson. Now, you have played against many players of the Manfield team, particularly Beth Palmer, who is many times a world champion, and the Rosenbergs. Michael is one of the greatest players in history. Now, so as we are looking at these results, right now we have Wilson ahead by 3 after one segment. And this is a very tight match. And virtually anyone could win it. Bill Cole and Melanie Manfield. Now, you played with Melanie's. She was widowed, right, by Eddie.
I played with Melanie's husband. who was an amazing player. He was a great guy, an amazing player, and he just would not have married a woman with no talent for the game. That's just who he was. You know, she wouldn't have been sexy if she couldn't play bridge. So Melanie is not a flashy person, but she quietly gets the job done.
And she's not well known in America because she has young kids, and for years she's just come back to the game. So people kept thinking that this was a weak team. It is not. This is a very strong team with no weak parts.
Very established partnerships as well.
Now in the bronze medal game, we'll expect to see a lot of explosiveness from the Europeans. The Chinese team pretty much just plays along, and they usually have very strong results towards the end of matches. They have a lot of stamina. So that's what we're expecting right now. Xiao Zhang is beating up the firm team 62-15 into the second segment. So it's a very strong start for them.
Yes, but like you said, some explosiveness from the Europeans, and it could be flipped by the start of the third segment.
Right. This is not fair to look at a match and say, oh, this is over, because we have witnessed already this week in the quarterfinals and the semifinals, incredible comebacks, sometimes having 45 and 50 comebacks. One fell short in a match where Nolan's team failed to win. But we have to give great credit to everyone who's here. And aside from that, what are your impressions of this World Championship? You've been at many of them. I can't even count now.
Yes. I played in my first one back in, I think it was 86. And this World Championship is amazingly deep. The depth of the quality of play. Yes, there are a few weak players who've come in to play just the mixed pair event as opposed to the mixed teams, but the players from all countries, first of all, they're very well represented. You think, oh, they don't have anybody from Ecuador. They absolutely do. The people are from all over, and the standard, if you looked and said, what is the average level of play? It's fantastic. This is a very tough tournament altogether.
In '93, you actually made the finals of the World Open pairs, playing with Sally Woolsey. And I remember that you were one of the only women in that event. I think there were 4, actually. Now we're seeing more women in open events. We're seeing them represent open teams. I mean, do you think that that's a product of gender equality, or that there's been less pressure to me, I've seen women evolve as players, and in the last 10 years particularly. And do you have an impression of that?
I think that it's not so much gender equality. It is, as much as anything, the women have to decide that they are willing to invest that much of their lives. Many women have the ability to be great players, but they choose to do more activities. Playing bridge at the very top levels requires that you don't paint, you don't play with your grandchildren, and you definitely don't clean house. So that, I think, as much as anything, the change to many societies where women are in business, they've gotten tougher.
I think that as we've come to the end of this World Championships, that I think perhaps this will be my last broadcast of the week. I have to compliment everyone who's been involved in the tournament. We've dealt with some problem times, and we've had some issues within boards and the players, but they love the tournament by and large. And I'd like to say in closing for ours that I am encouraged by the depth of the field. I'm encouraged by the the realm of participation. So many countries around the world, and so many of us involved in the game for our whole lives are seeing this evolutionary change. The game is becoming more inclusive for everyone. It's not just 4 or 5 countries in domination.
Yes.
It is now, something where every time you sit down, every person you play against can beat you, and does.
That's right, but I must also interject that it is wonderful for all of us to experience the other cultures, and also to get to see people that we might not have played against since the last World Championships. It's wonderful. One
giant family, and we're happy that we are playing Bridge for Peace here in Orlando. This is Jade Barrett and Karen Barrett from World Bridge News.